Imagine for a moment having access to, well, basically the sharpest mind on the planet, ready to help you tackle any challenge right there in your pocket.
Sounds like science fiction, doesn't it?
It really does. But today on our deep dive, we're exploring how this kind of power might actually be closer than you think, and maybe more importantly, what it could mean for you.
It's really about a shift in potential, I think. Moving from a world where intelligence is, largely human-driven to one where it's significantly augmented by artificial capabilities.
Exactly. We're diving into the fascinating realm of artificial intelligence today. We're drawing from the insights of three titans in the tech world: Dr. Eric Schmidt, former CEO of Google; Jensen Huang, the visionary CEO of Nvidia.
Huge name right now.
Absolutely. And Lisa Su, the CEO who engineered AMD's incredible comeback.
An amazing story there.
It really is. So we'll be unpacking their perspectives on the rapid progress of AI, its potential to reshape our lives, and how these leaders are navigating this monumental shift.
And our sources are YouTube transcripts, right? From channels like the Special Competitive Studies Project, Stanford Graduate School of Business, and Cleo Abram.
That's right. These are individuals who aren't just watching tech evolve, they're actively shaping it.
Definitely. So their insights offer a truly unique lens on the future of AI and, well, what it means for all of us.
Our mission today: let's try to cut through the hype, give you a clear understanding of the key trends in AI, some potential future scenarios, and honestly, some really critical food for thought from these heavyweights.
Kind of arming people with knowledge.
Exactly. Spark your imagination, get you thinking proactively about what's coming. So let's jump in. Dr. Eric Schmidt talks about something he calls agentic solutions.
Agentic solutions, okay.
He describes them as systems that can take in information, process it, remember it, and then act on it, basically. They can learn.
So input, output, memory learning.
Got it. Right. And he uses this great example. I think it'll resonate with a lot of people buying a house.
Yeah.
But specifically in the greater MLN area.
MLAN. Okay, so like a big metro area.
Yeah, think greater New York, greater LA, that sort of thing. A large interconnected region.
And what's interesting is how Schmidt sees AI playing different roles in that process, right?
Exactly. Imagine this.
Yeah.
You want to buy a house. Instead of you spending hours, days searching listings, an AI agent understands what you want and finds potential places. Then another agent knows all the local regulations, make sure it's all legit.
Okay, so specialization.
Right. A third handles the transaction, the complex paperwork. You could even have an AI designing the house based on your ideas.
Wow.
Another AI hiring the contractor, managing payments, and get this, even an AI lawyer ready to step in if the contractor messes up.
That's quite a vision. Breaking down a huge task into these automated steps, it suggests AI isn't just finding info, it's doing stuff for us.
Precisely. And Schmidt takes this even further. He talks about what he calls the San Francisco consensus.
Okay, what's that?
It's this belief, apparently shared by many in Silicon Valley, that within, say, the next 6 years.
6 years, wow.
Everyone could have something like the smartest human being accessible right in their pocket.
The smartest human in your pocket. Just pause on that. What does that even mean for us? For how we think, how we work?
Right. How does it change our own skills? Our reliance on memory, collaboration, big questions.
Huge.
And he also touches on artificial superintelligence, or LSI.
Right. The next level up.
Yeah, computers smarter than all humans combined, capable of self-improving, setting their own goals without us telling them what to do.
And the consensus suggests that could also be within 6 years.
That's what he suggests, yeah. It's pretty mind-bending stuff.
It definitely raises those big existential questions about humanity's future, but for now, it's just important to know these are the kinds of possibilities being seriously discussed.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about Jensen Huang, CEO of Nvidia. Their tech is, absolutely central to this whole AI boom.
Couldn't do it without them, really.
He talks about why he started Nvidia, and it's a really compelling story. Their mission from day one was to build computers specifically designed to solve problems that regular general-purpose computers just couldn't handle efficiently.
And this is way back, right? Early days.
Oh, yeah. We're talking pre-Windows 95, pre-Pentium processor, early days of PCs.
So he saw the limits of standard computing very early on, wanted that specialized power.
Exactly. And the problems they aimed for weren't, word processing or spreadsheets.
No, much bigger.
Things like computational drug design, simulating molecules to find new medicines, weather simulation for better forecasts, materials design, creating new substances.
Really complex scientific challenges, things that could change the world. Makes you think how that power could impact fields you care about, like medicine or climate change.
Absolutely. These early goals show a real commitment to tackling fundamental science and engineering problems. It laid the groundwork for, well, everything we see today.
Definitely. Hardware and software feeding off each other.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Huang explains how, over time, the cost of doing these specific kinds of computations just plummeted, dropped dramatically, close to zero, practically.
And that was a key factor, wasn't it? Enabling AI as we know it now, where computers can almost learn to write their own software.
Precisely. It was a massive turning point. Speaking of early days, the story of his pitch to Don Valentine at Sequoia Capital, it's legendary.
Oh, yeah, I've heard bits of this. He didn't have a proper business plan.
Not really. Bought this huge 450-page book on how to write one. Apparently never finished it. And Wilfred Corrigan, who was CEO of LSI Logic then, apparently told Valentine it was the worst elevator pitch ever.
Ha! That's brilliant. Shows that sometimes passion beats a perfect plan, I guess.
But here's the twist. Even after that awful pitch, Corrigan recommended Huang to Valentine.
No way. Why?
Because Huang had been a really good employee back at LSI Logic. Corrigan basically said, and this is critical advice for everyone listening, you can't run away from your past, so have a good past.
Wow. So his work ethic, his reputation.
Even apparently how good he was as a dishwasher and busboy at Denny's. He took pride in it.
That's an incredible lesson. Diligence, commitment. They open doors you don't expect. Your past follows you.
So true. Okay, so NVIDIA's first big killer app, the thing that put them on the map, was 3D graphics for video games.
Right. Gaming drove a lot of their early growth.
But think about how crazy this was. They were building super expensive tech, like million-dollar image generators, for a market that basically didn't exist yet. A $0 billion video game market at the time.
That takes serious guts. Betting on a future that wasn't there yet, believing their tech could create the demand.
Huge risk. And it wasn't smooth sailing either. Microsoft came along with Direct3D.
Oh yeah, that shook things up.
It made NVIDIA's initial tech basically incompatible. That could have been it. Game over. Business failure.
Shows how brutal the tech industry is. Constant disruption. You have to adapt or die.
But then, this almost unbelievable moment happens. Huang tells this story about literally finding the OpenGL manual at a Fry's electronics store.
At Fry's, like the retail store.
Yeah, and this manual, found randomly on a shelf, became the key to the company's future. It just shows how pivotal moments can pop up in the weirdest places.
You have to be open to those unexpected opportunities, right? Keep your eyes peeled.
Definitely. And Huang has this really powerful philosophy about learning, continuous learning, always questioning.
What's his take?
He basically says, how hard can it be? It's probably just a textbook away. You're probably one archive paper away from figuring this out.
I love that. Don't be intimidated. Go back to basics. Find the knowledge.
Yeah, constantly going back to first principles, reinventing based on what's happening now.
That curiosity, that confidence, it's a huge driver for innovation.
And that mindset led directly to NVIDIA shifting towards more programmable processors. They invented programmable shaders.
That was a game changer, wasn't it? Made their chips way more flexible.
Totally. It opened the door way beyond just graphics, broader computing tasks.
Moving beyond just the gaming niche.
They even created their own programming language, CGC, for GPUs. And guess who started using it early on?
Oh, not gamers.
Researchers. In totally different fields. Medical imaging, like faster CT scans at Mass General. Computational quantum chemistry, understanding molecules.
Wow. So real-world uses outside their main market started popping up.
Exactly. It was huge validation that they were onto something much bigger.
Those must have been like early indicators.
That's exactly what Huang calls them. Early indicators of future success, or EOIFs.
EOIFs, okay.
It's about looking beyond the immediate results, the quarterly numbers. Are you doing the right things? Laying the right foundation? Especially for long-term, uncertain bets.
That's a great framework for anyone, really. When you're starting something new, look for those leading signals, even if the payoff isn't obvious yet.
And it ties into his idea of a core belief.
Core belief.
Having this fundamental conviction in your vision. Sticking with it, unless something fundamental changes, invalidating that belief.
Yeah.
And you constantly look for those EOIFs to reinforce or challenge it.
So conviction and perseverance, but also intellectual honesty, willingness to adapt if the facts change.
Exactly. The story of Kennean is a perfect example.
Right, the deep learning library.
Nvidia created these specialized software tools, like building blocks for AI researchers.
Hmm.
Think SQL for databases, or OpenGL for graphics.
Uh-huh.
Even when there was basically no money in it initially, zero financial return in the short term.
Why do it then?
Their focus was on supporting what they saw as worthy work that would advance the entire field of science.
That's a real long-term play. Investing in the ecosystem, not just immediate profit. Prioritizing fundamental contributions.
And their guiding principle was inspiring, finding motivation not just from market size, but from the importance of the work.
Asking that question.
Yeah, if we didn't do this, would it happen without us? They prioritized stuff where NVIDIA could make a unique, essential contribution.
That's a deeply mission-driven approach, finding where you can make the biggest difference.
Then came those early deep learning successes, the ones that seemed almost magical at the time. Andrew Ng's AI recognizing a fuzzy cat,
The cat detector, yeah.
and Alex Krzyzewski's breakthrough with ImageNet classification. Seemingly simple, but huge leaps.
Provided that critical validation, didn't it? Showed the potential of deep learning and NVIDIA's role in powering it.
You know, it's hard to believe now,
Yeah.
but Huang shared that NVIDIA's stock price once dropped by 80%.
80%! Ouch! How did he react?
Stayed laser-focused on those core beliefs. He literally asked, did physics change? Did gravity change?
Ah, love it.
If the fundamentals were the same, they just kept their heads down and kept working. That's resilience. A huge lesson for anyone facing setbacks.
Absolutely. Grounding yourself in principles, not market panic, that's leadership.
NVIDIA also has this incredibly flat structure. Huang has, like, 50 direct reports.
50? That's nuts. How does that even work?
He fosters open communication, asks everyone for the top 5 things on their mind, and he constantly says no task is beneath him, connects it right back to washing dishes and cleaning toilets.
Oh.
It's all about empowering people through shared understanding, transparency in why decisions are made.
That structure promotes transparency, shared purpose, information flows better, empowers everyone.
Okay, let's shift again. Let's bring in Lisa Su, CEO of AMD, architect of that amazing turnaround.
Yeah, her story is incredible too.
Truly inspiring background. Born in Taiwan, immigrated to New York. Her parents really emphasized education, ambition.
That foundation of valuing education, striving for more, it clearly shaped her.
Totally. She ended up with 3 degrees from MIT.
3 from MIT. Okay, seriously smart.
And she had this innate curiosity early on. Tells a story about taking apart a broken remote-controlled car just to see how it worked. Her first job, a semiconductor lab.
So that fascination with tech, hands-on stuff, started really young, ignited that passion.
Then she made a big shift at IBM. From engineering into managing people, she saw building teams as a way to multiply her impact.
That's a key leadership insight, isn't it? The power of a great team.
And Sue firmly believes leadership isn't innate. It's learned, trained, developed through experience.
You're not just born a leader.
Right. She actually had this amazing opportunity. She was Lou Gerstner's technical assistant at IBM.
Gerstner, who led IBM's huge turnaround.
The very same.
Yeah.
So she got to learn by watching a top CEO in action firsthand. Huge for aspiring leaders, the power of mentorship, observation.
Incredible experience. Seeing high-level strategy, decision-making up close must have shaped her profoundly.
She talks about tackling hard problems. What drives her is deep curiosity, and she genuinely enjoys working on challenges that seem almost impossible but could have massive impact.
That resonates, right. Thriving on complexity, motivated by making a real difference. Does that ring true for challenges you face?
Absolutely. And she also strongly believes in giving people chances, taking risks on underestimated talent, people who don't fit the typical mold.
I like that. Valuing potential, investing in people who might not have the standard resume.
Now, let's remember the context when she joined AMD. This is a company historically kind of up and down, inconsistent.
Yeah, they had their moments, but struggled too.
And they were facing a huge industry crossroads. The PC market was declining, mobile was exploding.
Tricky time for them.
Her motivation. She wanted to lead a company that mattered in a crucial industry, semiconductors.
Strategic thinking. Seeing the big shifts, wanting to lead a company that could shape the future there.
And her rise was fast. Joined as SVP in 2012, became COO in 2014, and then CEO just 6 months later.
Wow, 6 months from COO to CEO. That's a massive vote of confidence. Shows they saw her leadership potential and needed big change fast.
And the state of AMD when she took over. Near bankruptcy. Stock price in the basement.
Dire straits.
Fast forward to today. The turnaround is legendary. Share price soaring over $200 at times. What can we learn from that kind of transformation?
It's just a powerful testament to vision, execution, decisive leadership. Incredible.
She talks about balancing defense and offense, cutting costs, focusing on core strengths, that it's defense,
Right, shoring things up.
but also offense diversifying, making bolder bets. And a crucial decision she made was to pivot AMD towards high-performance computing.
Instead of chasing mobile.
Exactly.
Wow.
Recognizing their strengths align better with HPC, data centers, gaming, these high-growth areas.
Smart strategic pivot, doubling down on where they could win.
She also pointed to the slowing of Moore's law, that old rule about computing power doubling every couple of years.
Yeah, it's not holding up like it used to.
AMD bets strategically on that inflection point, showed real awareness of fundamental tech shifts.
Understanding those deep trends and capitalizing on them, very savvy.
And there was a huge cultural shift at AMD under her. Big emphasis on pushing the limits of tech, hard work, taking risks.
Changing the internal dynamic.
Fostering a learning culture where mistakes are learning opportunities. Promoting collaboration. And this relentless drive to win with the best technology.
That kind of cultural overhaul is essential, right? To create innovation, competitiveness.
She also touched on geopolitics. Semiconductors are hugely political now. Tariffs, subsidies, export controls.
Yeah, it's a global chess game.
As a U.S. company operating globally, AMD has to navigate U.S. regulations carefully, make sure their voice is heard in these complex policy debates. A reminder that tech and global politics are intertwined.
Absolutely. Leaders need to be savvy about that complex international landscape now.
Okay, let's circle back to Jensen Huang and his predictions for AI's future. He says pretty bluntly, everything that moves will be robotic someday, and it will be soon.
Wow. That's a bold statement. Everything that moves, soon, makes you really picture a different world.
Doesn't it? And he sees the future of computing as highly generated, not just retrieving info, but like having a natural conversation with a computer that creates responses.
So, less searching, more dialogue. More intelligent interaction where the AI generates new stuff.
Exactly, which makes you wonder, what industries get totally transformed by that?
Yep.
Maybe unrecognizable. What comes to your mind?
Oh, man. Creative fields, customer service, science, maybe everything. The implications are huge.
Huang also talks about organizational design,
Right.
moving away from hierarchies where information gets stuck
Right, like his flat structure at Nvidia.
towards empowered, transparent organizations where everyone gets the context. Informed employees are key for agility innovation.
Makes sense. In a fast-changing world, you need everyone clued in and able to act.
He even uses this cool analogy, Nvidia as a time machine,
A time machine, how so?
because their tech enables seeing, predicting future outcomes. Think weather forecasting, simulating self-driving cars before they hit the road. Imagine having that predictive power in your field.
That highlights the incredible power of simulation, prediction, helping us tackle complex global challenges.
And Huang's advice for all of us, preparing for this AI future, it's super practical, something you can do right now.
What is it?
Get proficient with AI tools, ChatGPT, Gemini Pro, Grok, whatever's out there, regardless of your job.
Just start using them.
Yeah. View AI as your personal tutor, your smart assistant. It can boost your capabilities. It's like having that smartest person in your pocket waiting for you to ask.
That's really empowering advice. Learning to use these tools is becoming an essential skill fast.
And NVIDIA's made staggering progress in energy efficiency for AI computing, like a 10,000-fold increase since 2016.
10,000 times more efficient. That's critical for making powerful AI sustainable, right? Not needing insane amounts of power.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Key enabler. There's also this interesting balance they strike between building specialized AI chips versus more general-purpose ones.
Yeah, what's the thinking there?
Huang emphasizes flexibility. AI research moves so fast, he points to how attention mechanisms and transformers evolved quickly. You need hardware that can adapt.
So adaptability is key for the hardware, too. It needs to keep up with the software breakthroughs.
And NVIDIA's latest big bet, fusing their Omniverse platform for building virtual worlds with their Cosmos system. They call it a generative world generation system, basically a multiverse generator.
Whoa! To do what?
To predict future outcomes by simulating countless scenarios. It sounds like sci-fi becoming reality.
That's cutting-edge simulation and prediction. Transformative potential across so many fields.
And Huang keeps coming back to that core belief idea. Gut-checking it daily, pursuing it with everything you've got for the long haul, with loved ones beside you.
That philosophy really hits home. Conviction, resilience, integrating personal and professional life for the long game. What are your core beliefs? How are you pursuing them?
Powerful stuff. Now let's get Lisa Su's take on AI's future. She calls the current adoption pace extraordinary.
Yeah, it does feel incredibly fast.
She says it's the most significant tech advance in over 50 years, and generative AI is already touching so many lives. Do you feel that impact?
Absolutely, it feels pervasive already. It reinforces the scale of this revolution.
Her guiding principle, though, is surprisingly simple: making AI as simple as possible.
That seems key, doesn't it? Ease of use, accessibility, making it work for everyone.
Totally, democratizing it. And she echoes that sentiment we hear a lot now. Today will be the slowest day of AI development for the rest of our lives.
Mind-blowing considering the pace now sets the expectation for constant, accelerating change.
Her advice for preparing: embrace continuous learning. View education not just as facts, but learning how to think, how to solve problems.
Critical thinking skills, adaptability.
And collaboration, combining deep expertise with partners' application knowledge. She says 1 + 1 is greater than 3. How can you apply that?
That really underscores needing those adaptable skills and effective partnerships to navigate this landscape.
She stresses agility, collaboration. In this fast-moving world, you got to adapt quickly, work well with others.
Essential qualities for staying ahead in this dynamic ecosystem.
Interestingly, Sue doesn't see an AI hardware monopoly forming. She says AMD plans to challenge Nvidia in areas like pre-training models.
Competition. That's usually good for innovation, right? Drives progress, maybe lowers costs for us.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah.
And her final rapid-fire advice: dream big, have a big, bold, audacious dream, and chase it.
Love that. Ambition.
And her one word for AMD's future: phenomenal.
Confident. Captures that optimism and ambition.
So let's wrap this up. What have we learned from this deep dive? AI advancements, driven by computing power and new architectures, are set to reshape, well, almost everything.
From daily tasks to global challenges.
We've explored agentic solutions, the potential for superintelligence, and the absolute need for continuous learning, adaptability, focusing on meaningful problems.
Yeah, pulling together insights from Schmidt, Huang, Su. You get this picture of AI becoming deeply integrated, augmenting our abilities, transforming industries.
And just like past generations learned computers, this is your moment. Start exploring AI. Experiment. Ask questions. Envision how it can enhance your work, your understanding, your growth.
The journey is just beginning, really. Huge potential for personal and professional development.
On that note, Jensen Huang's advice really stands out. Get yourself an AI tutor right away.
Yeah.
Think about how AI can make you superhuman by freeing up your time and energy for what truly matters. So take a moment. What specific part of your life or work could be revolutionized if you embraced AI as your personal assistant, your learning buddy?
And what's really thought-provoking there is AI not as a replacement, but as an amplifier. A tool to unlock possibilities we haven't even imagined yet.
We really hope this deep dive sparked your curiosity, gave you some valuable insights, maybe a few things to chew on. Definitely check out the original sources if you want more.
And keep asking questions.
Absolutely. What stood out to you the most today? What are your predictions for AI's next few years? We'd love for you to join the conversation.
And as you navigate all this, remember those core principles. Keep learning, focus on impact, adapt. That's what guided these leaders.